Welcome back to Cantina Customs. This is an episode that should appeal to action figure customizers, cosplay artists, and Star Wars fans in general, because in today's episode, we are going to look at the Imperial Sandtroopers who combed the desert of the Dune Sea and scoured the streets of Mos Eisley looking for the escaped droids. We'll be taking a look at the Sandtrooper uniforms and gear and the variety of Sandtroopers seen throughout Star Wars A New Hope. Now, cosplay artists commonly refer to these Sandtroopers as the Mos Eisley Police Department. Back in 1997, Kevin Rubio debuted his mockumentary Troops with the theme song of Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do When They Come For You, which was a parody of Cops set in the Star Wars universe. So pack your gear and let's follow the Imperial Sandtroopers through the seedy streets of Mos Eisley. But like Sergeant Esther House used to say in every episode of Hill Street Blues, let's be careful out there. Before we look at the various scenes from A New Hope where the Sandtroopers appear, I want to talk briefly about the Sandtrooper armor and point out some differences between Stormtrooper and Sandtrooper armor. Some of this information comes from the book Stormtroopers Behind the Armor, and other tidbits comes from various websites that I've researched. According to the book Behind the Armor, the Sandtrooper helmet has curved cheeks, and I'm not sure if that is necessarily a difference between a Sandtrooper and a Stormtrooper helmet, or it's just a detail that they were pointing out. Also, the trapezoidal detail on the Sandtrooper's helmet, on the back of the helmet, they're painted flat gray, whereas the Stormtrooper helmet has vertical black stripes over the gray paint. The Sandtrooper's belly armor has no greebly details in the center plate. It's just a smooth rectangular plate. And then the skinny button plate next to the middle rectangle plate has no paint details like a Stormtrooper armor. Sandtroopers have a diamond inside a hexagon shaped sniper knee plate, as Behind the Armor calls it. Sandtroopers typically wear a shoulder pauldron. There is one Sandtrooper in the alley to Docking Bay 94 scenes that does not wear a pauldron. And this is because originally the crew only made 6 pauldrons and they added a stunt person to the Docking Bay 94 scene who would fall over from the blast, making a total of 7 Sandtroopers in that scene. Other than this scene in the original theatrical release, you never see more than 6 Sandtroopers in one scene. The shoulder pauldrons were made from padded motorcycle chest protectors. From the limited pictures that I could find online, some brands of chest protectors had the seams like the Sandtrooper pauldrons, and while others did not. So either the prop crew found a brand that had the seam around the neck with the snaps on the pads, or they added some stitching, which I doubt. Otherwise, I think they would have made them all uniform. According to John Mallow in Behind the Armor, George Lucas wanted a way to distinguish the Sandtrooper ranks, so they painted the motorcycle chest protectors different colors, orange, white, or black, and turned them sideways to go over the shoulder. So there's 2 pauldrons of each color, 2 orange, 2 black, and 2 white. But one of the white pauldrons is different from the rest in that it has 2 stitches that run the length of the pauldron, as you can see in the picture in the upper right. Fans typically ascribe the black pauldron as an enlisted soldier, white as a sergeant, and an orange as a squad leader. Now, my view is slightly different, and thinking of how Star Wars was written and filmed in the Vietnam War era, to me, black pauldrons are privates. Using United States military ranking, this would make them an E1 to an E3. White pauldrons are specialist or an E4, and orange pauldrons are sergeants, which would vary from an E5 to an E9. So the orange pauldrons are still squad leaders, but like it's a rank more like a first sergeant, at least in my view. And in my thinking, this better explains each color as an actual rank and not an operative distinction like squad leader. Sandtroopers also wear black pouches. These pouches are World War II German military pouches, such as an MP40 ammo pouch, a Spanish Chilean Mauser pouch, which is the small belt pouch, and then there are also wider belt pouches, which are either a type of map or maintenance pouch, or there's also a different type of ammo pouch. In the picture on the middle left, you can see The Sandtrooper with the orange pauldron in the middle is wearing the wider pouch on his right hip. Some Sandtroopers wear the MP40 pouch on their left shoulder, and some do not. One of the MP40 pouches also has a smaller pocket at the bottom, and it varies from scene to scene which trooper wears this particular ammo pouch. In the Dewback Patrol scene, it's the trooper that says, "Look, sir, droids." But in the checkpoint scene, it's the trooper that says, "Move along, move along." And this configuration of belt pouches varies from scene to scene and trooper to trooper. Some wear two MP40 pouches, some wear one MP40 pouch and a Mauser pouch. Others wear two of the smaller Mauser pouches, as you can see in the middle left picture with the troopers on the left and right. And throughout the video, I might mention distinctions in belt pouches, but I'm not trying to make a definitive list of exactly which pouches each sand trooper wears, especially since I think there are some continuity errors between long and close-up scenes, as we'll see in the checkpoint scenes. Sandtroopers do not wear the cylindrical grenades on the back of their belts, as can be seen in this still shot from the Empire of Dreams documentary. One of the most unique features of the Sandtroopers are their field backpacks. There were 5 different variations made for the film. The A, B, D, and E pictures at the top are from Reddit, and I think it's a store that sells replica backpacks. They do have a 5th backpack, but it is not film accurate, so I didn't include it here. These field packs were meant to mimic the variety of American soldier field packs in Vietnam. John Mallow was responsible for building the packs. Again, from Behind the Armor, Mallow says, quote, "So I went into this Boy Scout shop in London and bought one of these metal backpack racks. Then we took plastic seed boxes, stuck 2 of those together and put 4 of those on the rack. Then we put plastic drain pipe on the top with the laboratory pipe on the side, and everything was sprayed black." End of quote. While each of the 5 field packs vary in some way, they do share some commonalities in that they each contain different cylindrical canisters painted blue-gray. They each have a type of field radio on the bottom left, and each of them have a long pipe on the right with a disc at the bottom that looks like the inside of an old school Tupperware lid with the ridges all the way around it. The backpacks for the special edition are different from these original 5 backpacks, and I'll discuss them a little later. The field pack I have designated as A is one of the most popular among cosplay artists. This is the Move Along pack that has the gaffer's tape crisscrossed on the top left. It also looks like it has some shotgun shells on the upper right side, which again emulates the whole Vietnam era military pack. Field Pack B has a cylindrical air filter on the top left and a sticker on the field radio. Field Pack C has a small box on the upper right and lacks the black cap on the top cylinder. It is also missing the gray canister on the bottom, at least in most scenes. With Field Pack D, the Reddit photo isn't exactly film accurate in that it has too many tubes or shotgun shells or cylinders on the top left. One of the biggest difference with this field pack from the others is that the field radio is flipped upside down. Finally, Field Pack E has a corrugated tube connecting 2 boxes on the top, and also the field radio looks more like the prop builder's attempt to copy the field radios on the other backpack. Who knows? Maybe the store where they bought all these parts didn't have enough of those field radios and they just had to try to copy it. Either way, it still looks better than those junky special edition backpacks. As an interesting side note, all of the Sandtrooper action figure backpacks from the Power of the Jedi line through the Evolutions 3 pack on into the Vintage collection come with Field Pack B with the air filter looking canister on the upper left. Now, I'm not counting the backpacks that came with the Power of the Force 2 Sandtrooper or the 1997 Dewback Sandtrooper because those to me look more like interpretive guesses rather than trying to be film accurate by any means. So as we continue throughout the video, I will point out which field pack each Sandtrooper wears. You can see the distinctive field packs better in some scenes, but luckily the unique variety of each pack helps with the process of elimination in other scenes. Also, throughout the video, I'll highlight the various weapons that the Sandtroopers carry. In A New Hope, there are basically 5 Sandtrooper scenes. The Dewback Patrol scene, which is a combination of the special edition filming and CGI along with the original theatrical version. Then there is the checkpoint scene, or the move along scene. Then there's the cantina scenes, both outside and inside the cantina. Then there is the droid hunt scene in the back alley where the Sandtroopers are knocking on the doors. And then finally, there is the alleyway to Docking Bay 94 scene, which also includes the shootout in Docking Bay 94 and the Sandtroopers standing outside the docking bay that watched the Millennium Falcon fly away. The first Sandtrooper scene is the Dewback Patrol scene. And like it or I am including the special editions. Personally, I like that the special editions added some more Sandtroopers and Dewback riders to this scene. I just don't like how the Sandtroopers look. And more on that in just a bit. So the scene opens with a time clock rotation transition, and we see a landing craft taking off, 2 Sandtroopers standing in a dune, and a Dewback rider behind them. Even though the CGI is not super great by 2025 standards, I like that they included the landing craft just to help explain how the Sandtroopers got so far out in the desert. Now, as most of you probably know, the Sandtrooper costumes that the actors wear in the special editions are incorrect compared to the original theatrical release. These Sandtrooper outfits are from stock Stormtrooper costumes and the Return of the Jedi droopy face Stormtrooper helmets with the black lips. Stormtrooper belts, they have the little white pockets hanging on each side rather than having the various black World War II German ammo pouches. So again, the scene opens with 2 Sandtroopers standing in a dune. Each is wearing a black pauldron without ammo pouches, without the black belt pouches, and both are wearing backpacks. One is carrying an E11 blaster while the other is looking through a set of macro binoculars, and these look like the same binoculars that Luke uses on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. Behind them is a CGI Dewback rider that more closely resembles the original Sandtroopers than the actors. The Dewback rider has a black pauldron with the shoulder ammo pouch. He also has the black ammo pouches on his belt, and he is wearing a backpack, and he's carrying a vibro lance. Now, personally, I love these Dewbacks. I think the CGI looks good, and I think that the Dewbacks look closer to the original prop than what we see in The Phantom Menace with the Dewbacks with the smaller heads, which is what the 2009 Legacy Collection Dewback is based off. The problem here, at least to me, is the rider. I don't think the CGI or the movement of the riders we see close up are up to par with that of the actual Dewbacks. The camera follows the Dewback rider as 2 more Sandtroopers walk by they're wearing the exact same outfits. They're carrying E11 blasters, with one of those Sandtroopers is also wearing a set of the macro binoculars around his neck. In the background, we see another CGI Dewback rider who is identical to the first, and I'm sure it's just the same computer program, just rotated with a forward view. The camera then cuts to the opposite view as we see the first 2 Sandtroopers walking off and a third Dewback rider, but this Dewback rider does not have a vibro lance. Then the 2 Sandtroopers who were walking toward the cameras come into the frame as if they walked around the camera. We see them from the backside, and then they turn around to look towards the camera, and then they turn back around and follow the Dewback. So we have 4 Sandtroopers walking and 3 Dewback riders. Again, the issue with the special edition is not so much the CGI Dewbacks. I'll even give a little grace toward the Dewback riders. The issue is those terrible Sandtrooper costumes the actors are wearing. And I'm not a cosplay expert, although I have learned quite a bit researching for this video. But besides the fact that they use standard Stormtrooper armor, those pauldrons look like cheap pieces of rubber instead of the thicker motorcycle padding of the original costumes. And the backpacks are just junk. They barely even tried to mimic the original source materials. It looks like they went to a local plumbing store and just bought random PVC fittings and toilet parts. I mean, those white pieces look like the floater that goes inside your toilet tank, and then the cylinder with the cap on each end in the middle of the backpack. That's a PVC compression coupling, and they didn't do anything to it. They just glued it on there. Now, I've worked in the building industry for over 20 years. With 6 of those, I was a building inspector, so maybe those pieces just jump out to me, but I don't think the backpack or the shoulder pauldron would even meet the standards of the 501st Legion. The camera quickly transitions to the original Dewback patrol footage, but now with two CGI Dewbacks and riders in the background. The problem here is that technically the special edition changed the Dewback rider on the left from wearing a white shoulder pauldron to now wearing a black pauldron. So now with the special edition, there are two Dewback riders, both of whom are wearing black pauldrons with ammo pouches. Splicing in the original footage, there is also a Sandtrooper standing in the background wearing a black pauldron with a shoulder ammo pouch. He has the ammo pouches on his belt. He is wearing Field Pack D. You only get a couple of good sideways pics of the backpack, but in each of them, the pack has the water bottle. The corrugated disc is turned sideways, but there's no visible corrugated tubing at the top. So by a process of elimination, as you will see, he is wearing Field Pack D, and he is carrying the DLT-19 rifle, which you can see at the bottom of the slide. The DLT-19 rifle is based on the German MG34. The top image is the DLT-19 rifle prop, and the bottom image is the real-world MG34 rifle. The only real thing that I can see that they did to the German rifle is that they filled in the area where the belt-fed ammunition goes. Just on a side note, if you're looking for a different type of DLT-19 rifle, you might check out Outer Rim Traders. They have some resin copies of those, or you may even try Marauder Gun Runners in their World War II guns and props. Then, as the camera pans to the left, we get a close up of the squad leader who is wearing an orange pauldron with an ammo pouch, a backpack, and he has an E11 blaster. The squad leader does this awkward turn to his right, which reveals that he is wearing Field Pack B, as you can just make out the corner of the air filter canister on the top left portion of his pack. As the squad leader turns, a sand trooper holds up a metal ring and says, "Look, sir, droids." This sand trooper wears a white seamed pauldron with the ammo pouch on his shoulder that has the small little extra pocket at the bottom. He has the ammo pouches on his belt, and he is wearing Field Pack A. And we know this from behind the scenes images because you can see the shotgun shells on the right side, the top right side of the backpack. We can't see if he's holding a weapon, but if he is, it would be easy to presume that it's the standard E11 blaster. There are two more sand troopers in the background. One is wearing an orange shoulder pauldron with the left shoulder ammo pouches on his belt with the smaller Mauser pouch on the right and the MG42 pouch on the left. He is wearing Field Pack E, which we know from a process of elimination. He is carrying the RT-97C heavy blaster rifle. The other sand trooper next to the escape pod wears a black pauldron with a shoulder ammo pouches on his belt, and Field Pack C, and he is carrying an E11 blaster. So as this sand trooper is walking toward the escape pod, you get a look at his field pack, and although it's slightly out of focus, you can make out that his field pack is missing the water bottle on the bottom right, which makes this Field Pack C. And then by a process of elimination, the other sand trooper standing behind the escape pod with the RT-97C rifle must be wearing Field Pack E. Now, based upon the black and white photo in the bottom left, we see 6 Sandtroopers for the original theatrical release. Even though it's a black and white picture, you can compare this with the images of the film, and we can make out that the rider on the dewback is wearing a white shoulder pauldron. The Sandtrooper standing next to the dewback is wearing an orange pauldron, and then in front from left to right, we have black, white, black, and orange shoulder pauldrons. Notice that the two white pauldrons are slightly different in that one has two seams running the lengthwise, which gives it that unique angular look. This is my favorite shoulder pauldron of all the Sandtroopers. Sandtroopers are my favorite Stormtrooper Imperial Trooper design of all. I just love their unique look with the pauldrons, their backpacks, all the ammo pouches. I think it looks great. So notice that again that the two white pauldrons are different. One is padded and smooth, and the other one has these seams that run down that give it sort of an angular design. The trooper on the dewback in the photo is wearing the seamed pauldron, and the trooper in the front is wearing the smooth pauldron like the orange and black ones. However, since the trooper in the film who says, "Look, sir, droids," is wearing the white seamed pauldron, then the other trooper with the white smooth pauldron must be the dewback rider in the original film. In this photo, it does not look like the trooper with the white smooth pauldron, who would then be the dewback rider, is wearing an ammo pouch or a backpack. You can find production stills like the one in the middle that show the dewback rider wearing a backpack, but again, that trooper has the white seamed pauldron, who is not the dewback rider in the film. The picture on the bottom right is the best snippet I could get from the theatrical version, and if you look at the gap under his left elbow, he is not wearing a backpack. There were 6 Sandtroopers, but only 5 backpacks, as we will also see in other scenes. So, in summary, for the original Dewback Patrol scene, which is our introduction to the Sandtroopers, according to Behind the Armor, this scene was filmed on March 23rd through the 25th, 1976, and was logged as B-32 Stormtroopers find evidence of droids. In this scene, there are 6 Sandtroopers. One wears an orange pauldron with a shoulder ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches. Field Pack B, because you can just barely make out that air canister as he turns around, and he is carrying an E-11 blaster. The E-11 blaster is based upon the British Sterling Mk4 submachine gun. Adam Savage from Mythbusters has a YouTube channel where in one of the videos, he and a curator of an auction house look at a refurbed movie prop E11 and a Sandtrooper helmet. They explain the difficulty of shipping weapons, even movie prop weapons, from England back in the 1970s, and why the British Sterling was chosen as the main blaster prop. They also confirmed that originally there were only 6 Sandtrooper helmets created. For the E11 blaster, it looks like they kept the folding stock under the barrel. They cut down the magazine and added a scope and some other details to the barrel. We do see the E11 being used with the stock folded out in Andor Season 2, which I thought was really cool. And the E11 toy accessory that has the folding stock came with a handful of troopers, and that's my favorite Star Wars toy blaster for action figures. Marauder Gunrunners sells a similar version, but that version doesn't have the extra fold down piece to the stock. So the second Sandtrooper wears a white seamed pauldron with the shoulder ammo pouch that has a little extra pocket at the bottom of the pouch. He has the belt pouches, Field Pack A, because you can see the shotgun shells on the upper right side in the behind the scene photos. And we can't see his weapon because he's the one that says, "Look, sir, droids." The third one is behind them in the sand dunes. He's wearing a black pauldron with an ammo pouch, belt pouches. He has Field Pack D, and he is carrying the DLT-19 rifle. Now, some people call this a Blastech LJ-90 rifle, but it's the same rifle that Luke carries in the Stormtrooper disguise, and then both Dengar and 4LOM carry one in Empire. It's the rifle that's based upon the MG-34. Then the fourth one is one of the troopers at the escape pod. He's wearing an orange pauldron with an ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches. His appear to be flipped with the smaller Mauser pouch on the right and the larger MG42 pouch on the left. He wears Field Pack E by process of elimination, and he carries the RT-97C heavy blaster rifle. This rifle has the 2 canister magazines and is based on the German MG15 machine gun. Number 5 is the other troop at the escape pod. He wears a black pauldron with an ammo pouch, belt pouches, Field Pack C, as it does not have the bottom water bottle, and he is carrying an E11 blaster. And then finally, number 6 from the original theatrical version is the dewback rider wearing the white smooth pauldron, no shoulder ammo pouch. He does have the belt pouches. He does not wear a backpack, and he carries a vibro lance. Now, in some pictures, that vibro lance looks to be about 8 to 10 feet long. Next, we have the checkpoint scene, which was filmed on April 2nd, 1976, and designated sequence SCS-48. Ben, these are not the droids you're looking for. This is one of the three scenes that were shot in Tunisia. The other two scenes are the exterior of the cantina and the scene where the Sandtroopers look up as the Millennium Falcon blasts away, which is actually the same group and the same location as the checkpoint scene. For this scene, there are plenty of behind the scene photos and still shots that I won't necessarily be required to go frame by frame. So once again, there are 6 Sandtroopers. There are 4 on one side of Luke's speeder and 2 on the other. So I'll cover these in 2 groups. The first is the group of 4 Sandtroopers. So this first group of 4 consists of 1 with an orange pauldron with the ammo pouch on his shoulder that has the extra little pocket. He has the belt pouches and he is wearing Field Pack A, and he carries an E11 blaster. This is the squad leader that speaks to Luke, and then Ben pulls the old Jedi mind tricks on. This Sandtrooper was played by Anthony Forrest, who was also played Fixer in the deleted Tashi Station scenes. Now, in Behind the Armor, Anthony tells a funny story about being sunburnt while wearing that Sandtrooper armor and how he had to deal with all of that. The second Sandtrooper behind him is a Sandtrooper wearing a black pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches. He's wearing Field Pack C and he is carrying an RT-97C rifle, the one with the double cartridge magazine. The third one, standing off behind him to the left, is a Sandtrooper wearing a black pauldron with a shoulder ammo pouch with the belt pouches with Field Pack D, and he is carrying a DLT-19 rifle. Now, there's a bit of a continuity error here with this trooper, as in the theatrical version. As the red and white speeder passes by, this guy is clearly wearing a shoulder ammo pouch. But in the later scene where the Sandtroopers look up as the Falcon escapes, this guy is not wearing the shoulder ammo pouch, as is seen in the photo in the middle. So does this bit of variation make these 2 separate troopers or just a simple continuity error? You get to decide. The fourth one, there is also a Sandtrooper wearing the white smooth pauldron with an ammo pouch on his shoulder. He has the belt pouches. He wears Field Pack E, and he is also carrying the RT-97C rifle. So if you want to accurately create a diorama of the scene, you're going to need 2 of those RT-97C rifles. One came with the 2009 Dewback and Rider, and then that same figure was re-released on a single card as VC-14. And once again, that figure came with the RT-97C rifle. Or if you want an alternate source, as I've mentioned before, you should check out Outer Rim Traders. LE sells both the RT-97C and the DLT-19 rifles. Now, one other thing I want to point out is that at the very beginning of this scene, there is this super cool red and white land speeder that just zooms by. And the image in the bottom right is a still shot from a YouTube video entitled Filming R1. Now we can move over to the other side of the land speeder to the 2 final Sandtroopers. One we get a really good look at in the film, and the other you have to pause the video just in the right spot and then also rely on some other background footage. So the one standing on the left wears an orange pauldron with no shoulder ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches, and like in the Dewback Patrol scene, these pouches are reversed, the MP40 or the MG42 pouch on the left hip and the small Mauser pouch on the right hip. This Sandtrooper does not wear a backpack. As this trooper walks up, he is carrying the DLT-19 rifle. The second Sandtrooper, who stands to the right, walks onto the screen, and he's wearing the white seamed pauldron. The corner of the pauldron is visible in a blink and you'll miss it moment. You've got to pause the video just right. And I have the image in the bottom left with an arrow pointing to the pauldron. But you can see the pauldron better in the filming of R1 YouTube video and also in the making of Star Wars documentary, which gives an alternate view of the scene from between Anthony Forrest and the Sandtrooper wearing the black pauldron. You can see that in the bottom middle. You can see the Sandtrooper with the orange pauldron without the backpack, and then the Sandtrooper with the white seamed pauldron walking behind him. These are the two on the other side of the land speeder. So this Sandtrooper wears the white seamed pauldron with an ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches. He has filled pack B, but there's either a continuity error with the weapon or with where the troops are standing. And so they must have shot this scene twice. One where Mark Hamill drives the three-wheeled car, stops, then drives off, and then another where the actual dialogue was filmed, a close-up where the land speeder and the actors were all placed on a plywood platform. So in the first shot, the trooper on the left with the orange pauldron is carrying the DLT-19 rifle, and the trooper on the right with the white pauldron has the E11 blaster. In the close-up of Ben Kenobi, this is reversed. The E11 on the left and the DLT-19 on the right. So either these two actors switched weapons for the close-up or they just stood in the wrong places. There's another continuity error between the first shot where Luke drives up and drives off and the close-up dialogue shot. And that has to do with whether a Sandtrooper is wearing the standard hand plates or the cheese grater plates. And I'll explain what a cheese grater plate is a little later. But the Sandtrooper with the black pauldron holding the RT-97C has the cheese grater plates in the first shots, but has the standard hand plates in the dialogue shots. Or these are different actors who, again, got their places mixed up. But these cheese grater hand plates are another variation to the Sandtrooper armor. And so one last thing, in the 48 years that Star Wars has been out, I have never noticed this thing before. But in the making of the Star Wars documentary, you get a good look at some strange looking tank or land speeder or generator. Not quite sure what this thing is, but when I went back and looked at the actual theatrical release, sure enough, it's there in the background. I mean, it's like the fatted calf in the parable of the prodigal son. It was there the whole time. So if you have any idea what this odd shaped machinery is, please drop a line in the comments below. So let's quickly compare the Sandtroopers in the Dewback Patrol scene with those in the checkpoint scene. See if there are any commonalities in the Sandtrooper configuration. We know that Lucasfilm only created 6 Sandtrooper helmets and that were used in Tunisia. And we know that there were 6 pauldrons, 2 orange, 2 white, 1 seamed, 1 smooth, 2 black. And we also know that they only created 5 field packs. So I'm not trying to decipher how the configuration of the ammo packs were on their belts. You can pause the videos and strain your eyes trying to figure out all those belt pouch configurations. But just using the other configurations, let's compare. So in the Dewback Patrol, you have one with an orange pauldron with the ammo pouch on his shoulder. He has the belt pouches. He wears field pack B, carries an E11. There's one with the white seamed pauldron with the ammo pouch with the small pocket on the pouch. He has his belt pouches. He is wearing backpack A. There's a black pauldron with the ammo pouch with the belt pouches. He is wearing field pack D, carries a DLT-19. Then there's one with an orange pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches, wearing field pack E, and he has the RT-97C with the double canister magazine. Then there's one with a black pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches who is wearing field pack C, and he is carrying an E11. Then there's the Dewback Rider who has the white smooth pauldron without an ammo pouch with the belt pouches. He is not wearing a backpack, doesn't have a weapon. He has the Vibro Lance. Compare that to the checkpoint scene where we have the squad leader with the orange pauldron with the ammo pouch that has the small pocket. This is the one on his shoulder. He has belt pouches. He is wearing backpack A, the one with the gaffer's tape and a crisscross on the box on the upper left. He's carrying an E11 blaster. There's one with a black pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches. He's wearing field pack C, carrying an RT-97C. There's one with the black pauldron without an ammo pouch with belt pouches, wearing field pack D, carrying a DLT-19. There's one with the white smooth pauldron with an ammo pouch on his shoulder with the belt pouches, wearing field pack E, also carrying an RT-97C. Then on the other side is one with an orange pauldron without an ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches. He is not wearing a backpack, but he carries originally a DLT-19. And then the other one is wearing the white seamed pauldron with an ammo pouch on his shoulder. He has the belt pouches. He's wearing field pack B, and he's carrying the E11 blaster. So in comparison, there are some slight similarities, but no exact matches yet. So, for your own personal Star Wars universe, each of these variations could be a separate and distinct Sandtrooper, or they could be the same six Sandtroopers who've just switched their gear out. That's up for you to decide. Next up is the Mos Eisley Cantina scenes, which were filmed in two locations. The exterior shots of Garuflefaux waving the Sandtroopers over was filmed in Tunisia, and then the interior shots were filmed later in Elstree Studios in London. For these scenes, I have included some of the black and white photos from the original lost or cut Cantina scenes for clarity. Now, I'm going to address the exterior and interior scenes separately because, once again, we have continuity errors. No, not the continuity errors! So first, let's look at the exterior shots filmed in Tunisia. Originally, there were only two Sandtroopers in these scenes, but the special edition added the third Sandtrooper as the dewback rider who is dismounting the dewback. And as much as I like the CGI dewbacks, this was really unnecessary as it doesn't add to the scene. I mean, it's not like we see Sandtroopers patrolling the streets of Mos Eisley on dewbacks. Actually, the clunkiness of how the dewback rider moves takes away from the scene. There is also an issue with the dewback rider's pauldron disappearing. You barely see it at first, and you can make out that he's wearing a black pauldron, but as he dismounts, the pauldron disappears. But we do see that he's wearing an ammo pouch on his left shoulder. We also see the black ammo pouches on his belt, and that he is wearing a field pack. With the other two Sandtroopers, I prefer the original Lost Cut here, where Garuflefaux exits the canteen and waves the Sandtroopers over. It doesn't take but a second longer, and I think it helps explain the scene better. In the Lost Cut, the two Sandtroopers enter the frame from the left, the one wearing a white pauldron first, followed by the one wearing an orange pauldron. Even though the clip is grainy, you can make out the barrel canisters or the magazine canisters of the RT-97C rifles that these two Sandtroopers are carrying. Even in the theatrical release, you can make out the barrel canisters if you pause the video at the right spot. And the behind the scenes photo at the bottom right shows the RT-97C rifles even better. In the middle bottom picture, you can just make out that the Sandtrooper wearing an orange pauldron is wearing an ammo pouch on his left shoulder, and I have that marked with the blue arrow. Unfortunately, we never get a clear view of the Sandtrooper wearing the white pauldron's left shoulder to see whether or not he has an ammo pouch on his shoulder. We can make out that both of these Sandtroopers have belt pouches and they have the field packs. The trooper wearing the white pauldron is wearing field pack E, the one that has the small corrugated tube at the top. You can see the tube in the behind the scenes photo, and I have that marked with the green arrow. Then we move to the interior of the cantina scenes. The Lost Cut shows the two Sandtroopers as they walk in from the foyer. And I'm glad they cut this part because it takes away from the suspense of when Han notices them. However, from the entrance in the Lost Cut, we can clearly see that these two Sandtroopers are carrying DLT-19 rifles, not the RT-97C rifles that have the twin magazine cartridges that we saw the Sandtroopers carrying outside the cantina. So, if you want to try to explain away this continuity error, kind of like back in the day winning a Marvel No Prize, you could say that either the Sandtroopers simply changed their weapons before entering, or that these are not the same Sandtroopers. I mean, you could make an argument from the special edition that since there were technically three Sandtroopers outside and only two enter, that maybe the three are still outside and they alerted two different Sandtroopers. I'm overthinking this. Just never mind. It's a continuity error. These two Sandtroopers wear an orange and a white seamed pauldron. The Sandtrooper with the orange pauldron wears the ammo pouch on his shoulder that has the extra little pocket at the bottom. But the one in the white pauldron does not wear an ammo pouch on his shoulder. Both have ammo pouches on their belts. However, they are both wearing the smaller Spanish Chilean Mauser ammo pouches. Neither one of them is wearing an MP40 or MG42 pouch on their belt like the ones we saw outside. Continuity error or different Sandtroopers? You decide. They both wear field packs, and from the lighting exposure of the black and white raw footage, we can see that the Sandtrooper wearing the orange pauldron is also wearing the move along field pack A that has the gaffer's tape in the crisscross. The trooper with the white pauldron is wearing field pack B that has the cylindrical air filter on the upper left, and you can just make this air filter out in the black and white version as they enter the cantina. And this is not the backpack that the trooper wearing the white pauldron in the exterior scene wears. That field pack is the E version with the corrugated tube on the top, as I pointed out in the previous slide. So again, continuity error or entirely different Sandtroopers. You decide, and it can just add to the variety of custom Sandtroopers that you build for your action figure army or your cosplay to join the 501st Legion. Maybe you'll argue with someone and say, no, 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 look at the exterior. This is a different variety of the Sandtroopers from the interior. So let's quickly compare these Sandtroopers in the three scenes and see if there's any better commonality in the Sandtrooper configuration. So I've highlighted some of these, and you can look at the list. So we see that from the Dewback Patrol, there is one wearing an orange pauldron with an ammo pouch. He's got the belt pouches. He's got his field pack. He's carrying an RT-97C. And then we have the exterior cantina scene, and we have a Sandtrooper with an orange pauldron who has an ammo pouch. He has the belt pouches. We don't know what variety of backpack he's wearing, but he also carries an RT-97C rifle. So this could be the exact same Sandtrooper. At the checkpoint scene, we have the squad leader with the orange pauldron. He has a shoulder ammo pouch with that small pouch at the bottom. He's got his belt pouches, and he is wearing field pack A, same as the Sandtrooper wearing the orange pauldron inside the cantina. And then at the checkpoint scene, we have a Sandtrooper who is wearing a white seamed pauldron with an ammo pouch. He's got his belt pouches, and he has backpack B, which is the same as the configuration of the other Sandtrooper inside the cantina, just a difference in weapons. So we have some better commonalities in these Sandtroopers where some of these troopers could be the exact same trooper, or we could say the exact same TK designation. The fourth Sandtrooper scene is the droid hunt scene that was filmed on the same set as the alley to Docking Bay 94 set, but just from the opposite angle. If you have not seen my video on taking it to the streets, you'll need to check that out to see what I'm talking about here. It's the same set. Some of the images on this slide are from the extended deleted version of the film, which gives us a wider angle. There are four Sandtroopers who enter the screen from the bottom right corner. The first Sandtrooper wears an orange pauldron with the ammo pouch that has the extra little pocket, and I have this indicated with the red arrow, but you can also make it out in the picture on the bottom left. He wears the belt pouches. He is wearing field pack A, or the move along pack that has the gaffer's tape crisscrossed, and each of the troopers in this scene is carrying an E11 blaster. Following behind the squad leader is an enlisted trooper wearing a black pauldron without an ammo pouch. You can see his left shoulder in the image on the bottom left, and that he is not wearing an ammo pouch on his shoulder. He is wearing belt pouches. As a matter of fact, the MP40 pouch on his left hip looks like it's about to fall off. He's just flops back and forth. And he is carrying Field Pack E, the one with the corrugated hose on the top. After him follows a Sandtrooper that we don't get a good look at in the theatrical version due to the tight framing. The extended version gives a better look, but we never get a clear view of the front of his pauldron, only that we can tell that he is wearing an ammo pouch on his left shoulder. These are the pictures in the bottom right with the yellow arrow. In the extended version, the trooper pivots just enough to catch a glimpse of the pauldron or the corner of his pauldron, and it's not clear enough to see to be 100% certain, but from the lighting and comparing it with the other three pauldrons in the scene, it appears to me that he is wearing the black pauldron. He does have the belt pouches, and he is wearing Field Pack D, the one with the three horizontal cylinders on the top left. This is the picture marked with the letter D. The last Sandtrooper to enter wears the white smooth pauldron without an ammo pouch. He also wears the small Mauser pouches on his belt, and he is carrying Field Pack C, the one with the air filter cylinder on the top left. So again, very quickly comparing all of the Sandtroopers we've seen so far, I've highlighted those that have a similar configuration. And again, we see from the checkpoint, we have the one with the orange pauldron with the shoulder ammo pouch that has the little small pocket added to it. He has the belt pouches and he is wearing Field Pack A. That is the same as one of the Sandtroopers who enters the cantina and is same as one of the Sandtroopers down the alleyway in the droid hunt scene. The final Sandtrooper scenes are the alley to Docking Bay 94 scene, inside Docking Bay 94, and then outside Docking Bay 94, which I'm combining all as one scene. The Sandtroopers approaching Docking Bay 94 are obviously the same ones who enter the docking bay and have the shootout with Han Solo, or at least they should be. There's a continuity error in the special editions as the Millennium Falcon takes off, where there are 8 instead of 7 Sandtroopers. Now, I've talked about this in another video, so I won't mention it again here. The Sandtroopers outside of Docking Bay 94 that look up as the Falcon takes off are obviously not supposed to be the same Sandtroopers inside the docking bay, but those are the exact same Sandtroopers from the checkpoint scene. In fact, I'll show a comparison photo in an upcoming slide that demonstrates that they were filmed in the exact same location. So really for this scene, we just need to focus on the 7, yes, 7 Sandtroopers who march down the alley as they approach Garandam. To catch all the details, though, we'll have to compare the alley scenes with the Docking Bay 94 scenes and a very helpful behind-the-scenes photo. The first Sandtrooper who makes his way out of the arched tunnel corridor wears an orange pauldron without a shoulder ammo pouch. He has 2 small Mauser pouches on his belt, and he is not wearing a field backpack, which is important. And he is carrying a T-21 light repeating blaster, which is the first time we've seen this weapon in A New Hope. The prop is based on the Lewis automatic machine gun, which the United Kingdom used in both World Wars I and II. For the most part, it looks like the prop builders removed the pan magazine and added some details to the barrel. Now, it's amazing to me that we see the RT-97C rifle with the double canister magazine more times than the T-21 pictured here, but Sandtrooper action figures typically come with the T-21 and not the RT-97C. The reason this Sandtrooper doesn't wear a field pack is because this is one of the 2 Sandtroopers that fall to the ground inside Docking Bay 94. So I'm guessing to make the stunt safer, the 2 stuntmen did not wear the field packs. Now, Adam Savage, in that YouTube video that I mentioned, he has confirmed that the squad leader helmet in this scene is the same helmet worn by Anthony Forrest in the checkpoint scene. Now, following closely behind the squad leader are 2 more Sandtroopers. One is wearing an orange pauldron without the shoulder ammo pouch. He has an MP40 pouch on each side of his belt. He is wearing Field Pack B, the one with the air filter cylinder, and he is carrying the DLT-19 rifle. The Sandtrooper, this Sandtrooper also has what cosplay artists call the cheese grater hand plates, which differ from normal Stormtrooper or Sandtrooper hand plates. These look like white rectangles with Death Star wall lighting patterns on them. The other Sandtrooper wears the white seamed pauldron with the shoulder ammo pouch that has the little extra pocket on it. Now I've marked the extra pocket with the blue arrow. He is wearing the MP40 pouches on his belt, and like in the droid hunt scene, the pouch on the left hip is sort of just flopping around like it's about to fall off. He is wearing Field Pack A, or the move along backpack, and he is carrying an E11 blaster. Following behind the first 3 Sandtroopers are 2 troopers, each wearing black pauldrons with shoulder ammo pouches. You can clearly see in the alley scene that the troopers holding the DLT-19 has a shoulder ammo pouch marked by the blue arrow at the top, but we never get a good look at the other trooper with the black pauldron until we see him again inside Docking Bay 94, and there we can see that he has a shoulder ammo pouch as indicated by the green arrow. However, I don't know how reliable the interior docking bay 94 scenes are because in the bottom left picture, you can see that the squad leader with the T-21 has an MP40 pouch on the left side of his belt, but in the top left picture, he has the smaller Mauser pouch on both sides of his belt. Looking from the front, the trooper in the black pauldron on the left that I've numbered as number 4 is wearing Field Pack E that has the corrugated tube at the top marked by the yellow arrow. The other trooper on the right in the black pauldron is wearing Field Pack D, which is the one with the 3 horizontal tubes or shotgun shells on the upper left of the pack. As these two troopers walk down the alley, they are both carrying E11 blasters. You can tell from their hand positions and behind the scenes photos and the Life on Tatooine documentary in the holiday special that they are carrying E11 blasters. The image on the bottom left is a snippet from the Life on Tatooine documentary. Once they enter Docking Bay 94, one of these troopers swaps weapons with the sand trooper that is not wearing a pauldron or a backpack, and more on that in the next slide. The last two sand troopers rounding out this group of 7 are a sand trooper who does not wear a pauldron, shoulder ammo pouches, or a backpack. He simply wears 2 MP40 pouches on his belt and carries a DLT-19 rifle while walking down the alleyway. But Bingo blammo! Once inside Docking Bay 94, this trooper is now holding an E11 blaster, and one of the two troopers with the black pauldrons has the DLT-19 rifle. I'm sure that the weapons change during filming was more practical to lessen the damage of the stuntman falling to the ground, since the squad leader stuntman just kind of tosses his rifle out in front of him. So maybe this guy didn't have any room to throw the DLT-19, but in your Star Wars continuity, you can come up with whatever reason you want on why they switched weapons, because in your Star Wars world, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents, to quote the great philosopher Bob Ross. The other sand trooper wears the white smooth pauldron with a shoulder ammo pouch, at least in the Docking Bay 94 scenes. This guy's pretty tough to see from the front as they march down the alleyway, but as best as I can tell, he does not have a shoulder ammo pouch in the actually alley scenes. I mean, my goodness, man, will you please quit pointing out all these continuity errors? This trooper is carrying Field Pack C, the one that does not have the black cap on the gray canister at the top, but in this scene, the backpack does have the gray canister at the bottom of the pack. There's another backpack variety for you trying to build an army of custom movie accurate Sandtrooper figures. So I have a little diagram at the bottom of the slide viewing these 7 Sandtroopers from the front as they march down the alley to coincide with the numbers in the text box. So we have number 1 is the orange pauldron without the ammo pouch, with the belt pouches, the small Mauser pouches, who is not wearing a backpack. He is carrying the T111 rifle or the T21 rifle. The second one is the orange pauldron without an ammo pouch with belt pouches. He has got backpack B carrying a DLT-19. Number 3 is the white seamed pauldron with the ammo pouch that has the small pocket at the bottom. He has the belt pouches. He's wearing Field Pack A. He's carrying an E11 blaster. Number 4 has a black pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches. He is also carrying, he's wearing Field Pack E, and he's also carrying an E11 blaster. Number 5 is wearing a black pauldron with an ammo pouch. He has belt pouches. He has Field Pack D. He is also carrying an E11 blaster. And then following up from behind, we have the Sandtrooper with no pauldron, no shoulder ammo pouch, no backpack. He is simply wearing the 2 MP40 pouches on his belt, and he is carrying a DLT-19 rifle. And then finally, we have the white smooth pauldron with an ammo pouch, at least in Docking Bay 94. It's hard to tell in the alleyway. Sort of looks like he doesn't have it in the alleyway. Maybe he does. You just can't tell. But he's got the belt pouches. He is carrying Field Pack C, and he also carries an E11 blaster. Finally, the Docking Bay 94 scene ends with the Millennium Falcon escaping and a group of Sandtroopers turning to watch it fly away in the sky. This is not only the same group of Sandtroopers from the checkpoint scene, but it was filmed in the same location. When you compare the two scenes, you can see the same domed building with the ventilation or AC vent coming out of the top, and I have that marked with the yellow arrows. You can see the same cluster of moisture evaporators marked by the green arrows, the same wall marked by the blue arrow, and even the same solar panel weather vane things marked by the orange arrows. Now, while this is the same group of sand troopers from the checkpoint scene, only four are visible on screen. The squad leader who says, move along. Two troopers wearing black pauldrons and the sand trooper wearing the white seamed pauldron is only visible from behind. You can see the air filter canister at the top left of his backpack. Through everything that I've learned in researching for this video, one of the main things that amazes me is the number of individual troops you could pull from these scenes if you count each continuity error or variation as a separate and distinct trooper. One thing I've mentioned several times but didn't get too far into the weeds on are the belt pockets, the MP40 ammo pouch, the MG42 pouch, which is the flat medium-sized pouch, the Mauser pouch, and the medical pocket, which is the smaller, wider pouch. I mean, you think of all the different combination of pocket configurations just using the same pauldron color and backpack style, and there's like 16 different combinations alone just for those pockets, each with the same pauldron color. Then you add that variation of the 5 field packs and whether or not the trooper is wearing the shoulder ammo pouch and whether the ammo pouch is the one with the extra small pocket at the bottom. And you could create an army of individual custom Sand Trooper figures. Honestly, if Hasbro was smart, they'd take a tip from Marauder John and offer a box set of Sand Troopers that uses a peg system for the various pouches and pockets, and maybe even customizable field packs. But until that day comes, you can just order some World War II gear from Marauder Gunrunners and customize your own Sand Troopers. So once again, let's compare each of these scenes and notice some commonalities, some specifics about some of these sand troopers that may infer that you have the exact same sand trooper in each of these scenes or the same TK number designation. So I've had those that have the real tight commonalities highlighted in different colors. So we have the white one with the seamed pauldron with an ammo pouch with the small pocket at the bottom of the ammo pouch. He's got the belt pouches and he is wearing backpack A. We see that in both the Dewback Patrol and the Alley to Docking Bay 94 scenes. We have the orange pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches who's wearing a backpack and carrying the RT-97C rifle in the Dewback Patrol and the exterior shot of the cantina. Then there is the squad leader with the orange pauldron with the ammo pouch on his shoulder that has the small pocket at the bottom of the pouch. He's at the belt pouches. He is carrying field pack A. That is the same as the one of the sand troopers that enters the cantina and one in the alleyway for the droid hunt scene. There is a white seamed pauldron with an ammo pouch with the belt pouches who has backpack B, which is also the same in the checkpoint scene and the cantina interior shots. And so there we have at least 4 or 5 specific sand troopers that could be the same character in each of these various scenes, or you can just build an army of individual sand troopers. Well, that's it for this episode of Cantina Customs. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. If you like the content here, please hit that like button and subscribe so you'll be notified when new content comes out. Thanks again, and remember, let's be careful out there.